Hi there YouTube, XtremeTrainz here. In this video we're taking a look at, unfortunately, another series of Thomas minis, and the reason I say unfortunately is because this is series 24 we're looking at, and I've never had a chance to get series 23. But I do have all series 24, and there's some really interesting stuff in this one, so what are we waiting for? Let's do it. So, as is tradition, the first thing we're going to do is take a look at the packaging of these new Thomas minis. So you can see this is similar to the packaging which has come before in the last, I think, 3 seasons. You can see we've got Series 24, so it is the pink ones if you're looking out for them. The printing of the numbers on the front, and we come around to the back and we get all of that mumbo-jumbo blah-blah. And this is one which I've actually already got, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But if we take a look at the little brochure, again, we get Series 24, minis checklist. And this is what we get. Now, it's unfortunate this time we don't have them split up into the different types, if that makes sense. We don't have like the themes or anything written on the actual packaging. We've only got them written on the online and that kind of thing. So that to me is a little bit disappointing. Because it's a bit unclear. It took me a second to work out what the heck some of these were. And the little, guide thingy doesn't tell you. But that is, that. I also don't know why they put that there. Like, why do I need this information? I don't need this product code, because that product code isn't on the box or anything anywhere. It's only printed on if you, I think it's written here somewhere. Oh no, maybe it's not even written here. I'm not sure where that's written, in which case I don't know the value of that information to anyone. So, yeah. Okay, anyway, that is the boring stuff. Let's get the minis out. Alright, so this is the full complement of minis that are new and exclusive to this wave. As I alluded to in that previous part, there is a repeat of the Sweets theme, which includes like Skarloey, Ferdinand, Sweets Troublesome Truck, and Charlie. But I've already reviewed them in a previous review, so you can check that out in the original release if you want to check that out. Otherwise, what are we waiting for? Let's do it. Now, there's a couple of really interesting things happening in this series. The first thing is we're getting some new metallic engines. So I've just zoomed in so you can get a better focus. This is the metallic engine for this season. It is metallic James. They did a metallic Percy for the last season. And you can see here that, yep, we've got some interesting stuff going on. First thing, we've got the name printed on the top, number 5. Now, the Percy had that too. I've done a bit of looking online. But that to me is interesting because, for example, the Chrome Thomas doesn't have that, and the Golden Thomas from even the first year of minis doesn't have that. So this is a new thing that we have. The second thing that's interesting about this one, which you may have already noticed, is it includes the new riveted detail from the last season of Thomas and Friends, which everyone was like, what the heck was the point of this? I still don't know what the point of that was, but you can see here they've really gone nuts with the rivet detail. They put rivets along the top here, rivets along the side. Now, a lot of these don't make sense where they are. They just kind of shove them on. So on the one hand, I'm kind of like, oh, it's cool that they've gone to update these to reflect the new designs in the show, but also it's like, is this really necessary? I don't know. But you can see here we've got that new riveted detail there, and then equally what's I think nice about this one is we've got these kind of black glitter speck, slightly translucent wheels, and then we also have this kind of reddy, pinky kind of glittered running board, which I think looks really nice with that metallic red. So this one is definitely the one in the series to get. The bag numbers I have not found online, but because I got a whole box of them, I will include the bag numbers in the comments below, so you can see which ones you want to get if you are able to find them. I have not found them in Australia yet. But yeah, so that is what James looks like. I think he is pretty nice. He's the only metallic engine we get. The next ones we get are these new classic engines, which originally I was going to skip until I realized they included also the new riveted detail. So this is really interesting. So this is the riveted detail new quote-unquote classic Thomas. And you can see he looks like here. So for reference, here we go. I can pull off from my desk display. This is what a original classic Thomas looked like, and this is what the new one looks like. So you can see the new one has those new handrails, and it also has those new rivets on it. The faces, although you can see a bit of blue tack on this one, are the same, although the printing, I think, method on these ones has actually improved because this one has all those weird lines in it. But yeah, I don't have any of the other minis with me, unfortunately. They're at my parents' place, and I'm currently in lockdown. which is fun, so I can't get there. But yeah, that is a good comparison, and I think these look really nice. I just don't know why they didn't advertise these more as being new look, because I actually, when I ordered these, ordered just the new minis and didn't order, for example, these ones in the Sweets, and then realized that, oh no, it was actually going to be cheaper for me to buy a whole box than to order them all individually, because I realized that these were the new design minis for 2021. So that's what Thomas looks like. The next one we've got here is the new design Percy, and again, Percy's one where the rivets look a bit silly. I think these ones look okay, but like these ones down the middle of his boiler, like what is the point of them? It's so weird. Face is pretty the same. You can see the riveted detail again. One thing I didn't point out, but I should have, is that interestingly, this Thomas, you can see his whistles have been painted. I mean, it's pretty bad. Like it's a bodge job, but the whistles were not painted on the original. So they have actually added new printing, which, you know, is really weird for Mattel. I've always been surprised. The minis have always been the best detailed of any of their toys, and yet they're the smallest and the cheapest. So weird. And again, you can see Percy also has whistle detailing as well. So yeah, again, I think he looks nice, but I think the rivets are a little bit like, they don't really make a lot of sense. It also doesn't make sense why they stop here. I understand that's because of the way they do the printing, but like if you're gonna have rivets that come here, you might as well make them go all the way around. So anyway, that is that. The last engine is this new Diesel. And you can see he's also got rivet details, which also make no sense, including along the top here. And I also don't even think his rivets, I didn't even notice in the new season. So maybe he didn't have them, maybe he did. I actually really couldn't tell. And I haven't had a forensic close look, so someone can definitely tell me in the comments below. But yeah, again, like, cool, but was this necessary? I don't know. He just kind of almost looks a bit like he's got like either lights on him or he's like got bullet holes or something. It's a bit interesting. So that is the interesting changes to the classic engines. The next one we've got a new wave of the new look engines, but I think these new look engines, you're going to notice, are a little bit different in the way that they're done. So here is a new look James, and you can see again, they've also given him the new, you know, printing with all of the rivets on there. You can see again, we get a bit of a variation. I always like it when we get variations in the faces. So this is James with his mouth open. So for reference, the normal James doesn't have any printing on the mouth. This one has mouth open and a tongue. So that's kind of cool. And we come around to this side and we can see that they're starting to paint him red. So I've always thought the painting on these new look ones was really stupid. I don't know why they didn't just make a totally pink James and it could be called new look James. I think the painting him red just doesn't look that good. It looks a bit silly. It looks really naff. And I wish they would just give you a full-on pink James. That would be cool, rather than trying to paint him red. Like, we know it's James. Minis is super weird. I don't know why we needed to do that. The next one we get is Scruff. Scruff's a weird one because I'm sure there's been more engines that have had repaints that could have had a new look done to them. But instead, it's Scruff getting clean. So you can see we've got all of this rubbish here on this side, very dirty. And then he's being cleaned up on this side and the dirt is coming away. But there's like a sponge there and I think that just looks really weird. So I think what would have been better is to have like dirty Scruff and he'd just be all dirty. What's cool about Scruff though is you can see he's got a really different expression. He's like grumpy. He looks really grumpy. I think this one, it works really well, even though you can see that the actual plastic molding of the mouth is a smile. I think the way they've used that black line in the middle of his smile makes it kind of look like, you know, the frown. I think from any distance you can tell that he's like grumpy and frowning, and I think that's really cool. That's really nice. So I think this one, while it doesn't make sense, it actually looks all right. One which is less good is, as you can see, this is Bill, or is it Ben? It's Bill. And they've tried to give him a new face, and I think he looks weird because they've tried to give him what I think is a very Bill and Ben expression with the raised eyebrows, but you can see the problem is that the way it's printed, it's pretty hard to focus because it's so small. The way it's printed means that their printing doesn't cover his whole eye sockets. So from a distance, it's kind of okay, but you can still see above his eye, there's this weird hollowed out part. So yeah, I think he needed a new faceplate. I think this is a bit weird. And it's weird they decided to do this on one of these ones, which has the very 3D molded face as opposed to the printed ones. So yeah, weird choice there. But anyway, I like the expression. I think it looks weird. And you can see he's yellow on this side and then he's being painted blue on this side. But the weird thing is, right, it's like James has his new look, which is pink, and he's being painted red. But Bill is yellow being painted blue. So surely he should be the other way around. I mean, I know in the series, you know, he gets painted blue later, but it's just really unfortunate because I think this would have been a cool opportunity to give us a blue Bill and Ben, and instead we get this like kind of half blue one, which looks really stupid, like that big splodge there. I don't know, it seems weird. Yeah, I don't like the way this is done because it's really unfortunate because I really would have loved a blue Bill and Ben, but I just feel like the way this has been executed just looks like it's a mistake, if that makes sense, and I think that is unfortunate. The next one is Rosie, and you see her face is actually not that different, although she doesn't have like the pink on her cheeks. So these like spots I think look like blackheads. Like I'm kind of one of those people who has that weird thing where you have like a fear of holes, and yeah, this is like giving me those like fear of holes vibes, making me really skin crawly uncomfortable. I don't know about if that's for you guys as well. You can see she is pink on this side and she's being painted her, you know, darker pinky red color. But again, it's like, I don't know, it seems weird that she is gonna, I don't know, this like to me should be the other way around. But again, I would have just liked, I don't know. This one is okay because we've got a pink version of her and a red version of her. So I'm kind of okay with this version existing. I'm less okay with that for James and Bill because we haven't got a version of each. Whoops, dropped him. So yeah, so I think this new look one is interesting as a concept. I just think the execution has been a little bit naff. The next series we have is a rehash of the Dino theme, but thankfully they've done different engines this time. So that's good. I wasn't a super big fan of it, but you can see again, they've used the updated Diesel design with the extra rivets to make him look like his head is a dino thing. Again, why they keep doing this, I don't know. Kids like dinosaurs, I suppose. Don't know, but whatever. Don't have much to say about these ones. We've got a Dino Rebecca. I like they've done something with her face here. They've given her like, she's like got the little monocle on and a little headband. They've done a lot to her. They've really put that dirt printing all over her, which I think is cool. We have Gordon. Dino Gordon. Weird, this one that covers up his mouth. And then no updated design for Gordon by the looks of it. So he does not have the extra riveted detail, or at least not what we can tell from this. And the last one is a Dino Porter. It's really funny who they keep reusing in minis. Like, Porter has been such a minor character in the show for so long, and yet he's always being used in minis. Like, he has so many minis variations, it's insane. Like, he has more than, like, Duck, who's been in the show probably a lot more, you know? And then we still don't have characters like Donald and Douglas in minis, and yet we have a bazillion Porters. So weird. Anyway, so that's those. They're whatever. I don't love them, I don't hate them. The next series we have are these weird creature monster ones. So this is, I believe it's Belle. Yeah, it is, because you can see from the water things. Again, it's a character who hasn't appeared in the show for yonks, and yet is still getting toys. Yeah, there we go, monster, like fluffy things. They remind me a bit of like kind of weird Furby monsters or something. Do with that what you will. There's a Thomas here. Maybe it's a monster whiff, given that they use the same mold. He's like a kraken or something underwater. Again, I like that they're doing different faces, but that looks really weird. It doesn't look scary. It looks just embarrassing. There's a Stanley, who's like this weird gecko thing. I don't really understand what he's meant to be. Like, I think it's meant to be like a weird gecko. And you can see there's a Thomas Milk there, and he says Stanley on the blanket. Again, I love all these, the appreciation, the detail and the thought that goes into the graphic design of these is really more than goes into pretty much the rest of the Thomas and Friends merchandise put together. But it's just unfortunate that they look so weird often. It's like a lot of love, but like misdirected love. And then here's this Monster Harold with this giant eye. So again, I think this one doesn't look as bad. You can kind of see where his normal eye should be, but I think because of this one is painted over black, it doesn't look as bad. Yeah, I mean, the Harold Mini was always weird because obviously he's got these huge train wheels and this pathetic tiny little propeller. But it is what it is. Yeah, so that one will... Yeah, I think these ones I could have done without. I wasn't going to buy these if I hadn't had to buy the whole set to get these classic versions. The last one is we get some more animal characters. The first one I want to point out is we've got this Animal Troublesome Truck, and... Again, we have a new face variation. So this is the Sweets Troublesome Truck, which came also in this series. It's the same as the one from a couple series ago. And you can see now we've got this face, which I think is excellent for a Troublesome Truck. And again, this is what I'm like, they only ever did one Classics Troublesome Truck, the yellow truck, which never got seen, literally ever. Why did they never do a brown Troublesome Truck? And then they could have done, like, in one series, you could have done, like, 2 or 3 different troublesome trucks. All of them could have been brown, or if you want to go different color, do a different color, and just with different faces. That would have been excellent, but they never did that because they're stupid. So thanks, Mattel, good one. As trucks go, this one is fine. I always like the transparent ones. You can see here that it's got the shark tank on it or something, but yeah. Okay, cool. We've got Diesel 10 continuing to make an appearance. He's like a hippo, I think. I don't know. I guess like, it has a big mouth, so it kind of makes sense that he would be a hippo because he's like chomping. Don't know exactly. Yeah, and there's a baby one on the side. So, yep, that, okay. Weird, but all right. Then we have this Lion Henry, which I think looks really weird because obviously what they were trying to do is go like, this is the head of the lion, and you can see here the clear part is kind of meant to be like the sky, but you look at it from the back and it kind of looks like, oh, what's easy, hollow? Is it underwater? Like, I thought this was meant to be underwater from a distance, and I was like, oh no, it's a lion sitting on the ground. Yeah, again, super weird. And the last one is, I think it's Sydney. I haven't checked because I can't really tell. The face looks like a Sydney face to me. And it's Sydney with the koala, which I like. Now that I've said it aloud, I'm like, oh, Sydney, as in Sydney, which is near where I live and is currently in lockdown. Yay. At least at the time they're recording this video. Yes, so Sydney is a koala, which I guess makes sense because Sydney is in Australia. But like, you have Shane. Like, you literally have an Australian engine. Why didn't you use Shane to have the koalas? Like, why isn't Shane the koala engine? And that's where I think they could have done some really cool stuff with this theme. So you could have had Nia with a lion, right? Because she's from Africa. You could have had Yongbao with a panda, you know? You could have had all the engines. Rajiv could have been an elephant or something, you know? But instead, we've got Sydney as a koala. So, I don't know. Go figure. All right, so that is all the individual pieces. Let's think about the whole wave and also the price. All right, so what is my summary of the Series 24? Can you believe we've had 24 of these little things? Thomas Minis. So, firstly, I think there's some really cool stuff in this season. Mainly these ones, which are my favorite. There's some cool concepts, which are these ones, which have been executed kind of poorly. Especially, I think, in the case of Old Mate Bill. And then the rest of them, I think, they're fine. Take them or leave them. I don't mind the continuation of existing themes, but I think what this does show is a lot of promise. Like, I want to see more engines with different facial expressions, like the trucks, like Bill, like Scruff. Hopefully they do them a bit better. I want to see more engines with new detailing. I want to see different things like that. So I think, you know, how do I rate this series? It's all right. I think the standouts are really good, but I think the other ones, and that's the thing, like, even though I was saying, do we need this detail? Probably not, but is it cool that we have this detail? Oh, it's absolutely cool. So, you know, I think that is nice. Now, in terms of availability, I haven't seen these anywhere in Australia yet. I haven't seen Series 23 in Australia yet. I've only seen Series 22 literally everywhere. Everywhere that has minis has Series 22. I took the plunge and had a look on the Australian Toys R Us website. They had the pictures of Series 23, but I sent them an email and they said, oh, sorry, we can't confirm. It'll just be a surprise. So when I bought something else from them, I purchased also just 2 Thomas minis to see, and they were Series 22 minis. So sad. Which is a little bit unfortunate, but, you know, it is what it is. I would say that for what I picked these up for, which ended up being approximately $5 each plus postage to get them, and that's why I didn't buy Series 23 online, because it was just too expensive. Again, you know, it depends if you like collecting them, if you don't like collecting them. I would be saying, particularly with this series, try and buy just the ones you like. You know, these ones in the front row, probably the ones people are going to like the most, and don't worry about trying to complete all of them, because you really won't miss the other designs. I don't think they're that exciting, or that visually interesting, or that special. So that is my thoughts on this series, but obviously I would love to know yours below. Let me know if you found them, if you haven't, what's going on with Thomas Minis where you are. I know a bunch of retailers, I thought, had stopped selling them in Australia, and then suddenly they restocked selling them. They restocked them, but unfortunately they were all wave Series 22, so that's unfortunate. But otherwise, thanks for watching. That's all we've got time for. And this is XtremeTrainz.